And that should, yep, that should be it. We should be live on YouTube now. Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. Oh, there we go. All right. I see it now. Cold open.
Cold open. Greetings, people of YouTube.
So that was unfortunate, but yeah.
Has some technical issues, but we are live now on both YouTube and Twitch. Now YouTube should be all sorted. How's everyone doing? Hope you've been well these past couple weeks. A lot going on. A lot to talk about. This show, specifically this show, we're going to talk about, of course, Marvel Rivals Season 5 and a little of Season 6. We got to talk about Dispatch, which is definitely now my top 2 games of the year, which will be officially announced. The nominees will be announced tomorrow. There's also talk about Ubisoft being next to be bought out, joining EA, which could be announced as early as tomorrow potentially, and also talk about the status of Dispatch Season 2. But let's see, who was first? Shout out to Creeper Boss and his desire for Indian food. Sub Super Patrick, LTM, Eastwood, what it do? Vodka. What's up, Gio? What's up, Ski? Appreciate everyone hanging out. Before we get into the action, we do have some unfortunate news to start the show with. Yeah, a good friend for people who are OGs of the channel who follow both of us probably remember Slipshock from the Marvel's Avengers days. Good friend of the channel. Jay actually got to meet him in person. Unfortunately, we learned this week that he passed away. Very, very tragic.
Yeah, fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer and ass.
Yeah, we thought. I mean, I was trying to keep up with him, and he seemed positive, but I guess I don't know if you know Average Siege, but he reached out to me to let me know that his mom had let him know that he had unfortunately passed away. I think Friday. Yeah, man, he was great. His name is Anthony. Awesome dude. When I was in Chicago for Mortal Kombat 1, I tried to link up with him and Casual Avenger. Didn't work out with Casual. He was busy, but still made it work.
Eating that deep dish,
so much deep dish, but yeah. But I know Casual, I think, has met up with him a few times too. So that's why the first thing I did is I went to our DM and let you guys know. It was awesome. Like he brought me to some local place. We had some chicken wings, and then we went out to the arcade that you see there, Galloping Ghost. He was from the area and never been there, and I went there a few years ago when COVID was starting. We were going out for Mortal Kombat event, and it got canceled while I was on my flight. So everybody pivoted and put together a get together at this place. It's like $20 to get in. All you can play arcade games. Wow. They've probably got like 2,000 arcade games. It's insane. So we went out there and hung out for a while, and it was great, man. He was such a good dude. I actually, in my Pokemon Go, he hated. Where is it? On my desk, I have this guy right here, Incineroar. Slipshock hated Incineroar. Like absolutely hated Incineroar. So I've always have him on my desk, and whenever he came in the stream, I would always hold it up because he hated the cats. How the cats never stayed on all four. In Pokemon, they always evolved onto 2 feet.
Right.
So that was kind of my thing. And in my Pokemon Go, I have a perfect Incineroar, and I have 3 shinies all named after him. Like one of them is just Slipshock in all caps. That's my perfect one. Then I have like Slipshock for a shiny. Then Slippy McSlip is one of them, and then Slipshock with a less than 3 for a heart. So I don't know, man. It's rough, and it's hard to like watch everybody react because I think I was probably the first person publicly to like say it, because I asked Average, I'm like, are they keeping this private? Because I feel like people would want to know.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I would, you should tweet it. And like even just literally as the show is starting, I see Bob Duck and Weave. Just saw it. Yeah, I actually here. There's all my
Oh, you're Slipshock.
and like, and they've been like that for years, and like 2 of them are best buddies. So yeah, but just seeing everybody like Bob Duck and Weave, saw it like literally as the show is starting. Just seeing everybody kind of react to it has been, and then there's a bunch of quote tweets with people like, it's been tough. I've never had to kind of really do anything like that before. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's been weird to like watch everybody else have to go through it too. But I'm glad, and I feel a lot of love for Slip, because a lot of people, you could tell that, people loved him because he was a good dude. So
yeah, yeah. He's so, I was because we, of course, he would tweet about his status, about how he was, not feeling well, his recovery, and yeah, some weeks it sounded like he was doing better. He was optimistic. I know he had aspirations for game development, and we met him, while he was streaming Avengers, and I always enjoyed watching Slip streams. He's one of those Avengers creators that I wish blew up more, because he just had such a good vibe. I just always enjoyed talking to Slip. He always was just showing up to everybody's streams, everybody's videos, just showing love, just being a generally good dude. And so it's always hard losing a friend. I've lost too many, and
yeah,
this one crept came out of nowhere.
yeah.
I think the last time I lost a friend was this kid who was a grade under. He was like a grade under me. We used to play basketball. He was like a really talented musician. Found out he got shot while trying to break up a fight.
I have a friend like that too. Nate Watkins.
Yeah.
We had, I think we're in college at this point, but he was a grade under me, and one of our mutual friends, they lived next door to each other. So I met him through our mutual friend, and I would give them both rides home sometimes. And Nate was like the star running back at our high school. He was at a party just trying to break up a fight. Kid came to his house, started yelling. His parents were like, "No, don't go out there. Don't go out there." And he went out there. And that was it.
It's always the worst when it's like young. Like Slip was such a young guy, and
Yeah.
and he had so much ahead of him potentially, but fucking cancer.
Yeah, man. I've lost 2 of my aunts to cancer, and yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, one of my aunts is in recovery from cancer, and fuck, it's always rough. You never know, and then you never know who, if even when recovery seems to be going well, like sometimes shit just happens. Definitely wish nothing but peace for Slip's family, and we'll definitely keep his memory alive. We gotta come up with some kind of I don't know. We got to add him. We got to add some artwork. Get some add slip somehow to the background.
yeah. We were the Shock Brothers. That's what we would call ourselves. We both had Shock in our name, and yeah,
he was definitely the cooler Shock.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to him.
Yeah. When I thought you were black, I was picturing him. Someone that will look like him.
Well, yeah. I mean, the honor of my lifetime is when Sadat the Gamer thought I was black.
Still kind of do.
I'll take it. I mean, the do-rag's always one drawer away. Yeah. Casual, man. I was just talking about you, man. So we're talking about how we almost all of us got to link up, and I know that I'm pretty sure you guys did get together before. So, cheers to Slip. Cheers. Valhalla gained another warrior.
Is there? And hopefully we get to meet up with Casual for some deep dish.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know if you're free. I'll drop you the link in the DM. Oh shit, I can't even do that anymore. Did you get the update on Twitter where like you have to have like some kind of a code? Like I checked my DMs when I went to send that DM. I realized I had 4 DMs I hadn't answered to because now I can only look at my DMs on my phone.
Yeah, no, I did notice another.
Yeah, like I see it right here.
Another update.
Casual sent one yesterday, and Otter sent one like an hour ago.
I'll drop the link in the DM in the private chat. The invite link.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
The one Otter sent me. I had an incident this week that was like completely like so like in the first minute that the season 5 trailer dropped, I watched it on stream.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the part where Cyclops pops up.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, is that Cyclops? And then the trailer keeps going, and I'm like, wait, he's wearing a red tie. Why would he wear like a red tie? Is it actually Matt Murdock? So let's just tweet this and we'll ask. I thought it'd be funny. Like, I didn't think anything of it. People did not find any humor in it whatsoever. Okay. And very early in, I muted it. I was like, you know what? I don't care. Like, whatever. I'm not going to explain myself over and over again. Like, I understand that Matt Murdock has red hair, except when it's Charlie Cox. Okay. But the hair looked red-ish in the like 2 seconds I looked at it before I tweeted the picture. And he was wearing a red tie. And I don't know why Cyclops would be wearing a red tie. They both wear the same style glasses. Like, it's not really a big stretch that it could have been Matt Murdock. People are like, but why would a non-mutant be on Krakoa? I don't know, motherfucker. Why do all of us non-mutants fight on Krakoa in the video game? Like, I'm sorry, they're like, it wasn't that big, it wasn't that deep. So I happened to look at it like later that night, and it had like 166,000 views, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, it wasn't that interesting. Yeah, and Matt wears red glasses exactly. Like,
I knew it wasn't Matt Murdock, and not just because the devs told us it was Cyclops.
Well, right, but like I was like, I'm 99% sure this is Cyclops, but there's like this 1% doubt. I don't want to just tweet Cyclops. That's what I was gonna do.
I knew it was 100% because the Marvel Rivals version of Matt is very much redheaded.
Yes, I realized that after the fact.
And in terms of the lore, at that point in the time stream entanglement, because I read all the lore,
right,
in the last few seasons in particular, and at that time when the time stream entanglement kicked off, Matt was in New York because their timeline is like part of the run where Matt goes to hell, and he's dealing with the Hand. So at the time he was fighting in the Hand in New York, and then when the time stream entanglement happened, demons invaded, and Matt was fighting to save New York, and that's when he lost everybody, goes to hell, fights the Beast, defeats him, and then frees the immortal beast, gets the power, and then goes to the Ape City. So I knew it definitely wasn't Matt Murdock, but I did have someone else. You weren't alone, Jay. Actually, it was worse. Someone in the comment section told me I was wrong and that it was Daredevil and not Cyclops.
I didn't think it was like I'm looking for the picture. I don't know where I saved it to, but I didn't think I was like, I don't even think it was ridiculous. I was pretty sure it was Cyclops. All right. And I also I guess he was in the video earlier and I didn't actually see that picture of him. Here it is. Okay, let me pull it up on my screen. Okay. This is the picture that I showed, and I was like, Scott Summers or Matt Murdock. And apparently it's completely ridiculous to think that this could be a hint of reddish. But what made me question myself was the glasses, because those are absolutely Matt Murdock glasses. And the red tie. Why would Cyclops wear a red tie?
Because red optic glass.
Yeah, but he's like, the X-Men colors are like blue and yellow. Why wouldn't he have a yellow tie?
But he has red in his uniform along with blue.
But I think he's on Team Blue. He's not on team. There is an X-Men red, but I don't think he's on that team. I mean, I guess I could rewrite it, but still, like, is it really that ridiculous to think, like, in the first minute the video is out there, that there's a 1% that's not Scott Summers, it's Matt Murdock, especially since we hadn't seen Cyclops at all. I didn't really think it was like worthy of like hundreds of comments and everybody like quote. I think the thing is, the moral of the story is, I think that we learned, like, because I get like almost no engagement otherwise, that the only time anybody wants to engage with a tweet is when they can like put themselves over and try to be a dick.
Jay just
like, I'm so much smarter.
Old man Jay just discovered how social media works.
Well, it never used to be that, and it's funny because like I quote tweeted a video clip that somebody posted, I know, like Jake Lucky or whatever his name is. That Shroud was like not somebody I watch or anything very much,
right.
But I know he's been getting a little bit of controversy this week. But he was like, talking about how he was watching back an old stream from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and reading like the chat, and everybody was generally very positive, and like even if they didn't love the game or like the setting or any of that stuff, they were like fine with it. And then he just thinks back to when he was streaming Shadows and how it was just nothing but hatred and like people being bitches. And he's like, it's like today, people, if the game doesn't 100% fit their narrow view of what the game should be, it's fuck this game. And I just immediately resonated with me because I thought of Midnight Suns. Like classic Midnight Suns. Classic. I mean, Suicide Squad did plenty of things to burn themselves in the end, but they never had a chance because people were like, fuck Suicide Squad from the start because it's not Batman. And kind of to an extent Gotham Knights. I started thinking about those games. There are games that certainly do it to themselves, but you think about like the beforehand. Midnight Suns never had a great shot, even though it was a really fun game. And there are some parallels to a game that everybody's talking about as being game of the year, Expedition 33, in it being a turn-based game. Sure, you have to do the action yourself a little bit more, but like people are like, oh, I hate turn-based, and then this is going to be one of the possible games of the year. And like the cards was never that big of a deal. It was actually really fun once you learned it. So like, I don't know, man. I thought it was a very interesting thing that really resonated with me.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate bit with Midnight Suns was that the reason why Expedition 33 hit, I think it says, well, one, the story, the music,
sure,
it's absolutely fucking breathtaking, stunning, incredible, but also it was an original IP. It stood on its own, and obviously there's a big turn-based RPG market in itself, but it was an original IP and an indie game, so it could stand alone on its own merits with no expectations. Whereas
Right.
Midnight Suns, when it was first announced, it was like first we didn't know exactly what it was, but it's a new Marvel game, so coming to console. So and people heard, oh, it's Marvel, it's a Midnight Suns game. Oh, you're gonna be able to play as Blade and all this other stuff. And
so it has to be for me.
So it's a Marvel game, so people on console, so people actually assumed, oh, it's going to be like Insomniac Spider-Man, or maybe this will be an improved this will be a game that picks up where Marvel's Avengers left off, or maybe even a Marvel Heroes or an Ultimate Alliance type of game. And then when they saw the turn-based and the cars, they were just like, what is this? Why why is this not a real time action game? What is this card shit? And immediately wrote off. And unfortunately, people who played it did. That's why picked up good word of mouth after the fact. They played this and, oh wow, this actually is a really fun game. But unfortunately, Marvel as an IP has this big casual audience who aren't as necessarily receptive because to turn-based stuff unless it's mobile. That's usually a better bet for them. Console, there was like expectations and it just didn't hit. So sad that it ended that way.
The hilarious thing about what you just said though is that like all these people, they're like, oh, I don't want to play turn-based. Then you said except if it's mobile. Like universally, I guarantee you most of them play Future Fight or Strike Force or something like that.
Probably Marvel Snap more so.
Well, all right, but still, I mean, like those are all big Marvel games. But that's the thing is like when Marvel Snap came out, like I was like, all right, not for me. Not like it looks cool, but not a game I would probably play a ton. And I downloaded it, I tried it. I was like, oh, this is cool, but I don't know if this is for me. I didn't like rage about it. Like, how dare they make a mobile game that I can't play? I don't want to play. How dare they? These are my characters. I should be able to play it the way I want to. It's just, but like that whole thing kind of resonated with me, and like I don't know. But yeah, it has been a few weeks, huh? I know that like you weren't feeling well. I think I had some Rhode Island Comic-Con stuff. Speaking of Rhode Island Comic-Con, I'm a little annoyed right now. I'm fighting to get a refund because I did not get to. Speaking of Charlie Cox, I did not get to meet Charlie Cox because yeah, it was the line was insane. It was
I imagine.
Yeah, and I missed the cutoff for the initial line by like 2 minutes because we ran a little late getting there. And if we were there like 2 minutes earlier, we would have probably been able to get in line for him and probably gotten to meet him. But I did get to meet a few people.
You got to meet Luke Cage, Chris Jericho, I saw.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up, obviously, here. Right here. So here's Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is awesome. I showed him a picture of my friend Aaron, who was in WWE for a while and worked with Chris. He was Damian Sandow. And I showed him a picture from our senior year of high school where he was actually wearing his Chris Jericho shirt. And I'm like, I thought you might appreciate this. He's like, oh, that's awesome. And he like immediately took my phone and started like zooming in and like it was like, I was like, oh, cool. All right. So obviously I got to meet Chris Jericho. That was sick. I got to meet Killer Cross and Scarlett. They were just so small. He's massive. I did not realize how huge he was. She's wearing heels. So, but also made me feel extremely small. He was just in WWE and he's doing great without them, but I really hope he goes back at some point because I really like him a lot. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Luke Cage. I do have a clip that I didn't want to like make a big deal about. Casual. I didn't want to make a big deal about, but I asked him, I was like, oh, so you're coming back as Luke Cage, right? He's like, I can neither deny or confirm, but we'll see. That was my as deep as I can go in my Mike Holter voice. but he was awesome. So that was cool to meet. And then Najee
Jeter, my goat.
And we were recording at first, and this is his handler. I don't know, they're friends, obviously. You can tell they have a relationship. All right. And Najee, he was maybe giving him a hard time. And then his friend looks up. He's like, "Oh, are you recording?" I was like, "Look, they got that all on video. Stop it." And I made sure to delete that. It will never see the light of day. So otherwise, he was cool. So we got Miles and Luke Cage.
Could have told him you knew Sadat the Gamer, who knows Joseph Woody.
I probably could have done that. I think I was gonna try to drop Caboose's name first. They were very like, you talk about Jay's old man brain. It felt like they both had Jay's old man brain at the moment. He seemed like he was also busy signing a bunch of other stuff that I'm sure he's gonna like give to the convention or something to give away. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, I didn't know he was in." There's some movie that he had photos for, but he was in something when he was younger.
I'm gonna get him on a podcast at some point.
Yeah, I would have pitched it there, but I don't think they would have remembered it. So yeah,
I have other ways to reach out to Najee. So
there you go. So but no, I mean, Rhode Island Comic Con's great. It's definitely like they book so many people that are really cool, and the only downside is like I had no shot Baby G and Hardball. I don't think that's what I was thinking of, but I guess he was in The Last of Us as well. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Because somebody looked at it and was like, "Oh, he was in this too." My brother's friend that was with us, and it might have been just The Last of Us. So, but yeah, there's lots of cool stuff. So that's always a good show to go to. Oh, you're trolling, okay? That's always a good show to go to. I appreciate that they gave me a media pass, and you know. Oh, I see what you meant. You were. I don't know how I can get that to casual. Or did you say you dropped it there? I don't know, because I have to look at my phone.
The invite link I put it in the private.
Yeah, I'd have to open this on my phone. I'll figure it out.
Oh man.
But I don't even know. Casual, do you even have like time to get in here? I don't want to pressure you.
No pressure, but a little pressure. Only if you're not eating deep dish. I know how important the deep dish is to you.
Yeah.
Now home. All right, bet.
All right, then I won't even stress about it. So
we'll get you on it at some point. But yeah, I've yet to go to a con. I was instead getting my Marvel Rivals coverage ready. It was a fun week. A lot of people. I saw Maximilian Dude finally came back just because the strength of Gambit, our boy.
I had some pretty good matches with Gambit, even in ranked, which
he's fun. He is so fun. I love Gambit. He's officially my new favorite hero.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying him. He's the first new hero that I was able to get to. What's this? The second rank, not captain.
I don't remember. I think I'm at the third rank for Gambit.
Well, it was the first new hero that I was able to get to the second rank on the first day. Probably in a long time. Night, yeah. First one I was able to get to night in a long time. So
yeah, I definitely want to Lord Gambit. He's my go-to. He's a lot of fun. The season is great. Shout out to everyone who supported all the content this past week. We hit trending on our Gambit video. went absolutely insane. And not only did we get Cyclops, or Matt Murdock as Jay calls him, but it was actually because of their early access, which shout out to Rivals for changing up the marketing strategy by having all the new season content roll out the same week of the launch instead of having us wait a week. And I think that was definitely a better move. And on the early access server, we got to get through the gallery cards and get a preview of who's coming in season 6. We got to read the final lore entry and get the full story. I did a video on that as well. But spoiler alert, it's Deadpool and Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah, interesting picks. I mean, Deadpool, I really truly feel like you can have be anything.
Yeah.
For any reason. Elsa, probably DPS.
I imagine she'll be a duelist, but Deadpool, yeah, I was thinking he could, because of his unique powers and the fourth wall breaking and everything like that, they could be very flexible. Obviously, everyone assumed Gambit was going to be a duelist, and he ended up being a strategist, and they designed him amazingly. Deadpool, I can easily see being like a mobile Vanguard, like a Captain America, because of his immortality. They could really do like interesting stuff with that to make him a Vanguard.
Yeah, I have this like idea of him as a strategist where he like throws chimichangas at people to heal them. Like, and I always talk about there's like this there's this one book where it's a X-Force book, and he was in X-Force with Archangel. I think Wolverine was in it, Psylocke was in it, and maybe one or two others. Phantom X, I think. And Archangel, they just gotten to him. He had been held captive, and I think Apocalypse had him, and he was very malnourished. And Deadpool like is just slicing off parts of his arm and feeding it to him, and he's like, "Where did you get this food? Just promise." And he's like, "Just promise me you're gonna eat it, little bird, and don't ask." And it's I think of that and I'm like, all right, that's like an example of how you could theoretically make him a strategist. But I don't know. I mean, obviously he's going to play a little bit like Blade, I would imagine, because you've got the ability to have swords, the ability to have
two guns. Yeah, two guns. He could also have, for movement, they could also give him his teleport device.
Yeah, he could absolutely teleport. I think back to like Marvel Heroes, and he had like I don't know what they were. It was almost like he was like throwing like thumbtacks or something. I forgot what they were called, but there's some kind of like a like piercing weapon that he would just throw them up in the air, and it was like an area of attack. And there's so many opportunities with him, and it'll definitely. They're going to do a swimsuit like where he's wearing a Speedo or something,
of course,
and his whole body is going to be like all like deformed,
as it should. I think I'm just imagining. Like, I'm thinking of how much hype is going to be. I think Deadpool is going to have an insane amount of hype. Like I was thinking about the most hyped characters that were added to Rivals in terms of engagement level. I think so far highest was Daredevil and Gambit, and I'm just imagining how crazy everyone's going to go when we get that first Deadpool trailer. That's gonna be insane. I think Ghost Rider is going to be similarly huge because he's got a lot of fans.
Yeah,
and Ghost Rider, he actually did win because the devs actually did a poll before the game launched of characters that we now know that they were considering or actually working on. They had a bunch of heroes on there. They had like Emma Frost and on there, and they had Gambit on there, but the top two were Ghost Rider number 1. He won the vote, and Deadpool came in number 2. And I thought that was a little surprising, but interesting. Ghost Rider has a lot of fans.
Yeah, I think from a mainstream perspective, obviously Deadpool is like one of the most popular characters for people that aren't in the world, but they just know, oh, Ryan Reynolds, So I think that's going to be huge for them. I really feel like I always thought of Red Deadpool. They could kind of hold off on him for as long as they wanted to, and he could be like a big red button, that you put him out, and that's gonna like cement a lot of people coming back and stuff like that. I will say Gambit seems to have had a really positive effect. I know everybody likes to talk about the Steam charts and everything. I think Rivals was doing pretty well on Steam this week.
Yeah, typically does decently, but yeah, funny enough, I didn't check to see it the first day. When I checked, it was like Saturday. I checked like randomly Saturday, early Saturday, and it was at like it had like a 24-hour peak of like 93,000 or something, like that. But no, it actually had the biggest spike in a while from adding that PvE content. They went to over 120,000.
Oh, nice.
But funny enough, I actually saw that Rivals is doing as I suspected, but it's doing better. It's still doing really good on Steam, but it's doing much better on console. It's actually I think it was like 7th or 8th most played game on PlayStation this past month.
Nice. Oh my god, let's talk about the cross progression real quick. First of all, shouts to King Greek. I watched his video on how to do it. It is doing awesome, and I'm very happy for him on that. So I linked up my PlayStation and my Steam account, and I was fine if I just kept playing it on. I was fine if I just kept playing it on PlayStation. It's fine, whatever. But the only reason I wanted to link the other accounts is because I played the alpha on Steam, and I played the beta or the console beta on Xbox. So I should have had the blue Venom and the white Scarlet Witch, but I realized I never logged into the game on either platform, even though I had them downloaded. I never actually logged in once they came out. So I didn't have either of them on my account. But in the process of doing that, I got all the achievements that I had trophies for on Xbox. So they just unlocked the way they should, the way they didn't do for Midnight Sun, or not Midnight Suns, Suicide Squad, which if you ever see me logged on to Suicide Squad, it's because I'm trying to see if my trophies will pop. And they won't. So I every like month or two I like log in just to see if miraculously they will. But yeah, so now I have like all the achievements. So, and I've been playing a little bit on Xbox, and it feels good to have the controller I prefer in my hand. But there's one thing that I don't love, and that is on the PlayStation controller, obviously you have the touchpad, and that's what you press to like check the score real quick.
Yeah.
But now I only have this little itty bitty button. So it is a little bit of an adjustment, but otherwise I like the Xbox controller. I know it's all personal preference, but that's the one time I was like, oh man, damn. Oh well. I'll do the extra $10 and got all the passes free. Yeah, I think we all did that, Sam Burger. But yeah, no, I actually don't know. I mean, I guess it must have been a tech issue, but I'm glad they did this finally. Even though, I didn't really get what I was hoping out of it. My fault, I guess. I should have probably logged in, even though I wasn't playing on those platforms.
Still issue.
But linking up was relatively easy.
Yeah, and also I really enjoyed the Times Square. It's actually a lot of fun. People already hacked it. They found an exploit that allowed you to go to the other side of the barrier, and so you can actually just free roam around the entire New York area, even like the unfinished parts of the map.
Travis is already annoying me. I'm gonna go ahead and put him in timeout. Ha. Oh, what, ban? No, is that just? I just want to put him in timeout.
Bruh.
It didn't ban him, did it? Eastwood, fix it. I fucked up. because I'm not even a mod on the Aftershow. No, we're not going to ban him. I just wanted to time him out as a joke because he's negging everything we say already.
Jesus, Jay, always giving us more work. Now I have to fix it.
Well, that makes it even better if I have to make Sadat do something.
Yeah, but yeah, the Times Square is filled with really fun Easter eggs. I was roaming around when I first logged into the update just to see what they had everywhere. Most people spotted the Black Cat wanted poster, and Kingpin. He's the mayor, and he actually took credit for us defeating the vampires and saving New York.
Did you go hang out at Hot Topic?
I did go to Hot Topic. Herbie's. I enjoyed Herbie's store. The Van Dynes. They're going to pop up a lot. The Van Dyne store. Those costumes are actually arriving.
Yeah,
this week.
I don't love any of those.
I really like the magic one, especially in the demon form. Obviously, Strange looks ripped out, but her demon form reminds me of Android 21.
I mean, that outfit, in Mr. Fantastic is, but I just feel like all those, they're going way too hard on original outfits and costumes. I just prefer the comic ones. Although I will say their original Assassin's Creed Gambit is pretty dope.
And it's got a fun Easter egg in there for people who read the lore. He's actually in his MVP. He's actually stealing something.
Oh yeah,
a piece of paper from this sealed in energy thing. I think that's a reference to actually the lore of season 5. Gambit was actually hired by the Grandmaster to steal something from the collector. When the Grandmaster was touring his theme park, because he had to break out because early in the lore, Psylocke, it was a real Psylocke, Jeff, and Mantis were all being held by the collector after time stream entanglement, and they all escaped. And that was our first Deadpool tease, because Psylocke told Squirrel Girl that a strange man in red was sent by the collector to find the people who escaped.
I did read that.
Yeah. And so while the Grandmaster was walking through the menagerie, he noticed that there was a contract that had Victor Von Doom's name on it, and he thought it might be significant because he views Doom as potentially as a threat to his own life as well as the universe. And he noticed it wasn't part of the collection, so he thought it might be something important. But the collector caught him before he could look at it, so he hired Gambit to come in and steal it. And Gambit brought Rogue with him, his lovely wife, and they both
not ready to make her a widow yet.
Not yet. Yeah, she actually was the one that stole it, but using her power she absorbed Chronovium, and that was how she was able to get through the defenses. But they stole it, and collector's like, you know what? I'm not gonna collect them. I'm gonna fucking kill them. So he sent Elsa and Deadpool after them.
That makes sense. I mean, Merc for hire, Merc with a mouth, and Elsa. I mean, and those two, there is a significance to it because those two had a big comic run together.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool was the king of the monsters. He brought his little pet Jeff to Long Island, which was where all the monsters lived.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people don't realize that Deadpool brought us Jeff.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun interaction. Seeing Jeff's keychain is actually Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Rivals accessory.
Yep. I do love the new accessories too. I know they're like just a cheap little thing, whatever, but like I had enough to get one when all the new ones came out. So I got obviously Rogue. for Gambit, but like Throg is great.
I bought Rogues. I bought Rogues. I bought Drax, and I got Kitty Pride.
Yeah, the Drax one is sick. Oh, great! Now that I know that I can put him in timeout and it doesn't actually ban him, I can do it like every time.
I saw his name. Yeah, I was checking the bans and I saw his name was down there. So good.
Just a professional hater. So honestly, prefer to go to Nolan North than Ryan. Yeah, they're not going to pay for Ryan.
There's not a chance in fuck there. Anyone who actually thinks they're getting Ryan Reynolds is insane.
Yeah,
especially since Nolan North is already on the voice cast. Like they're not going to hire Ryan Reynolds to do Deadpool.
When I met Nolan North, I had him sign a Marvel's Avenger Iron Man Funko Pop.
Oh, nice.
And I said, I bet that you don't get many of these. And he thought that was funny.
You can report the video. The difference is Jay's actions actually do something. Yours do nothing.
Yeah. Report it for what? Like, so what if they get Neil Patrick Harris? I mean, that'd be interesting.
I'm personally not a fan. He's voicing Deadpool in Deadpool VR, which comes out this month. I don't love it. I think it sounds like he's trying to Ryan Reynolds it up a bit, and it just doesn't do it for me. I think Nolan North's is perfect. I think I'd actually like his voice for Deadpool better than Ryan Reynolds.
Manny offered to like record the game for me. If I'd just buy him the game or something. I may do that. I think I'm done buying new tech for a while. I don't know if you had a segment for all the new hardware that is like floating out there, but
we can definitely mention the new Steam hardware came out. I saw Mighty Keith had a really funny skit on it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet, but I bought the whatever it is, the one that Deadpool's coming out on, and I played and I played the Batman game for a little bit, and like honestly, recording on that thing is just so complicated, and I didn't feel like, I'm sure if I just like really sat down and did it, I could figure it out, but it also hurt my eyes, and it like I just don't enjoy VR. I just don't. And I'm glad that there are people that do. I think that bubble has burst a little bit because it seemed popular for a little while, but now I don't know that it really is as much as it used to be.
I think the tech just isn't quite there yet for it to be wide adopted. Like it's definitely growing in popularity. It just hasn't exploded yet because the tech right now there hasn't been. Right now it's not at the point where what you're getting is like worth the value for a lot of people, and there's still ways to go. Like Batman, the Batman one did really well, and I think the Deadpool one will do good too. But yeah, for me, like I bought the 2, and I was like, and then I was looking at potentially getting a 3. I was like, I don't even use the 2, and I was looking at the 3. I'm like, is it really that great upgrade? Like I have 2 friends who swear by VR. Like my one friend actually met his current girlfriend playing by going in VR chats, and my other friend was playing a lot of competitive VR games. Like he's low key obsessed with it. So I see the appeal a little bit. Like my friend was like, oh, you got to go to these places. I got to do this stuff. And I see the potential in it. It's just not there yet for me. But I think there will be a point where VR is going to be mass adopted. You know, I'm someone who watches a lot of anime, and some of my favorite are the ones where they have like full dive VR headsets where it basically feels like you're actually in the world, you know, and I'm like, that's clearly going to be the future, but it's just we're not at that point. We're not.
At that point. So I returned that Quest 3, and I also this week took advantage of the fact that I'm a Best Buy reward, whatever their like VIP program is. When we bought our refrigerator, we got it because it gave us like an extra few years warranty. It also lets us return them, like return stuff, I guess, in 90 days instead of 15. And I took advantage of that with the ROG Xbox Ally X because I finally sat down and started setting everything up. And it's booty cheeks. Like I really I'm like really upset with Microsoft right now. I hate Windows 11. It is so bad. And I just have been having so many problems with it. And the process for like I finally got into a game. A company sent me a game that's on Steam, and I don't think I could say what it is yet, but it involves somebody that was in Fortnite recently, little side scroller game, not Cosmic Invasion.
The Simpsons.
And I'm like, all right, look, this is what I got this for. I'm gonna go play it on the ROG Ally. I hooked it up in docked mode and everything, and just the video kept cutting out, like really badly. I'm like, is there HDCP on this? I went looking for it and I couldn't find it. And like going back and forth between settings and apps and everything is so complicated. And I just like did not like it. And they have to integrate this way better if that's what the next Xbox is going to be, because people are not going to enjoy that. It's
Steam kind of undercut the mirror because the whole pitch of the new Xbox console is going to be, it's basically like a hybrid PC. It's like you're going to have a console PC, and then Steam literally says, here's basically a Steam console. It's a Steam box. You plug it into your TV or your monitor, and you basically have a game in PC. It's got a controller on it.
That controller looks ass though.
Yeah, it looks like a shittier version of an Xbox controller. But other than that, the idea looks really cool. The only obviously the big question is going to be what's the price point?
Sure,
because Xbox already positioned their new console as to quote your boy when discussing Borderlands 4, a premium product for premium gamers. So that's probably going to be at least a couple grand. So I'm wondering if that Steam box ends up being like, say, less than 800, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I don't really think that it just depends on what services you can get other than Steam, like the one thing I will say is it was very easy for me to download Epic Games launcher. The Ubisoft game launcher was on it. Steam was on it. Battle.net was on it. Like if that's what Xbox is able to provide, like I will say, like if it all worked better, that is exactly what the next Xbox could be and should be.
Right.
They just need to streamline everything, because I was going back and forth from like so many things, and it wasn't like an easy thing to do. Like I could press the Xbox button and get back into the Xbox menu, but that didn't help me when I was trying to go into Steam, go back and forth from Steam and the settings. So
Hoarder might have figured it out.
If it's a side scroll coming out, you can guess. I won't acknowledge, but
Jay cannot confirm or deny.
Yeah, I will say it's maybe a horror movie related thing that the main horror guy was just in Fortnite, but I think the 6-7ers will appreciate it.
I'm sure. Don't get them started.
Yeah. So, yeah, we even got Eastwood doing it.
Yeah, he's like 100. Why does Jay look like he's juggling balls?
Because that's what you don't know. That's what the kids do. Listen, my wife's a teacher. I have to know what all this stuff is. 6, 7.
It's kind of like a shrug. It's supposed to be like.
Well, all right. So I don't know if you saw it, but like there was a video that ESPN posted from SportsCenter, and it was like the Auburn women's basketball game, girls at the free throw line, and it was like Auburn had 66 points, and it must have been like kids night or something. Like they must have like literally bussed elementary school kids to this game because there were just a wild amount of children at this game. And when she hits the free throw, the whole crowd just goes nuts, and it's nothing but kids going 6, 7, and they're like just all doing that nonstop, and it's like crazy.
I gotta tell Eastwood to stop.
No, honestly, if Ski is annoyed by the 6, 7, I think Eastwood should keep doing it.
That actually reminds me of a really funny moment in Dispatch when Prism, she's the villain turned hero. That's she's basically like their version of a Nicki Minaj if she had superpowers, and like she's a big musician, and she gave her backstory about how she got her first big single, and Robert was like, I'm sure it slapped. And she was like, please never say that again. It reminded me of something Jay was saying. Yeah. I love when old people use new slang.
It's weird because I don't like, I just turned 45 and I don't feel like I'm 45. If that makes sense. Like, so I don't like even think of it like because I feel like I'm just surrounded by people that are like a third my age and or half my age at least. Sure. So it like kind of keeps you a little young.
Yep, like Epstein.
Yeah, I had to think that one through a little bit.
Yeah. Be very careful with his phrasing.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my all-time favorite ones is when I told Gio I missed when he was 14.
Yeah,
that was definitely out of context, not the greatest,
the wildest thing you've ever said.
Yeah, not the, but I'm okay with
outside of the pegging thing. That was pretty wild too.
Listen, I'm okay with creating lore.
The pegging lore is elite. Look, if you know, you know. Look at it. But yeah, speaking of my favorite game of 2025 that Jay still hasn't played yet.
Liar.
Did you actually finally play Dispatch?
I played the first episode. I uploaded it, and I will get to the rest at some point.
So you did. Oh, so you didn't finish it?
No. I got started. I didn't. They're about 45-minute episodes.
I beat it twice, but
that's fine. But like, I just had a lot of other things I was doing. I haven't even started Call of Duty yet, and I don't even know if I want to.
A lot of people, funny enough, that's another thing we get into. A lot of people haven't started Call of Duty. People are concerned, especially over at Activision. But yeah, Dispatch became a bit of a phenomenon. Phenomenal, in fact. I've been glazing this game ever since it first appeared at the Game Awards. Consistently, in all my upcoming superhero videos, my live streams, I've just been glazing Dispatch, saying, "Oh, this game is going to be so good! I can't wait to play it. I hope it comes to console." So I was so excited when I found out it was coming to PS5, and I've been streaming it ever since the first week. I think around episodes. I think episode 5 and 6 is where it really blew up for my channel. We had unexpectedly had like 30,000 people watch the stream, and I saw it just picking up everywhere. And then for the season finale, I had crazy 90,000 people watching the stream, and it's all over social media. The crazy. The player, it debuted at 12,000 concurrents on Steam, and by I think by the third week or the second week, because it'd been like 10 days, they announced that they had reached 1 million sales, a million copies sold, and that was when they were at like 30, had climbed to like 30,000 on Steam, and by episode 7 and 8 for the finale, that number had reached 220,000 on Steam.
Nice.
So they mentioned in an interview that they had that before the finale, just on those initial week numbers when it spiked, they said that it was on pace to make what they were projecting it would make in 3 years, in a best case scenario in like 3 months, and now it's going even crazier. And I'm so happy that it happened for this game. I was concerned it would be like a kind of a underappreciated gem like Midnight Suns, and I'm so glad it caught on.
Yeah, I gotta say this. I've read a lot of stuff. I think I even saw you retweet somebody, like kind of the lore behind Ad Hoc, how they were working on, I think, the Wolf Among Us, or
they were Wolf Among Us. So yeah, so they were working on the Wolf Among Us 2 before the initial strings of delay when Telltale had been saved from bankruptcy, but they were still having a lot of issues. I saw someone had a deep dive on it, but yeah, they were having a number of issues, but they finished their work on the Wolf Among Us 2, and it was 2 directors and 2 writers left because they were kind of burnt out at Telltale. There was some issues there, and they actually ended up going to Ubisoft for a bit, and we're trying to start their own thing. They actually were working on a new Splinter Cell game that Ubisoft decided, actually, let's do live service Call of Duty game competitor called X Defiant instead. And obviously,
is that game dead?
Oh, completely dead. It's actually shut down.
Oh, damn. I kind of knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, everyone knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But it was a horrible idea. So they left Ubisoft and decided to go on their own and start Ad Hoc. And originally Dispatch was going to they pitched it as kind of like a live action, like if you remember Bandersnatch, the Black Mirror interactive episode, the Black Mirror interactive movie type of thing that came on Netflix, where it was basically like a standalone episode of Black Mirror that you can like interact with and make decisions to shape a story. That's originally how it started, and then it ended up being going with the animation route and going to video game, and then Critical Role got involved because Laura Bailey, that when they reached out to her husband, who's like CEO of Critical Role, saw a scene that they had sent her. It was the scene where Blonde Blazer and Robert were on the billboard, and he was like, "Oh, this is what is this? What is this? Like, what? This looks incredible. And she told him about the project, and that's when Critical Role got involved and went all in on Dispatch, and the rest ended up being history.
Yeah, I think Critical Role actually kind of saved them. They were almost bankrupt. This game never actually even almost came out. So I really respect that, and that's why I like, even though I was gonna wait to get it until I knew I had the time to like kind of do it. And then I was like, you know what, let me just grab it, and I'm gonna play the first episode just so I can like see it and what's up, and I'll post it, and I'll do the rest at some point. And I'll get back to it. I thought it was really, I chose the cinematic version, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, skip the quick time events.
Yeah, and I thought about, I'm like, it's just an interactive movie basically, which I'm fine with. I don't think I really need to do the quick time stuff. It's not going to like make me any less of a gamer, you know.
It's not necessary.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm glad that you approve it then. That makes me feel better about my decision. But like, I mean, the animation is great. The little mini game, I thought I did it right, but I didn't. I didn't get like the best score. But I'm interested to see. And I guess that was something that like was kind of like a pivot. That wasn't initially planned. But yeah, I've been doing my best. Like Greek is like tweeting about it nonstop, so I like quickly scroll by because I don't want to like get spoiled and anything. Like I do kind of want to like go through it and experience it myself. I think the story is definitely engaging right out the gate. You know what I mean? So I really do think it's I support and appreciate that it's going to be contending possibly for game of the year.
It's
For a lot of people.
It's officially now, like, because the one thing that I was personally concerned about were the reviews, because to the best, to have the best chance for a game of the year nomination, you need like at least like a 90 usually to like be like a lock or near lock, and they hit it exactly. 90 people, critics reviews were just finally came in because they were kind of waiting because of the episodic nature of it. They waited until the last episodes came out to publish their reviews, and it ended up at a 90 on a Metacritic, universal acclaim on Open Critic. So one of the best reviewed games of the year. Ton of hype. People all over posting about it, and they definitely deserve it. I hope it's nominated for game of the year. I think it's definitely up there. I still think I think probably Expedition 33 is still the best game of the year, but I think Dispatch for sure deserves a lot of nominations. For music, acting, and game of the year.
Yeah, I'm fine with Expedition 33. Even though I didn't I played the prologue, and it's one of those games where like things happened. I didn't go back to it. A lot of times, when something's not doing well, you're like, all right, well, I have to pivot, to something that people will actually watch. So I don't play a lot of games offline anymore. If I can't really get content out of it, then I don't know. YouTube's kind of ruined that for me a little bit, especially where family, whatever. So like, from 4 to 7 Monday through Friday, I am generally unavailable because that's like when my wife gets home. We have dinner, we have TV time, all that stuff. So like my day is broken up in different ways, and so like I don't know. I think I'll go back to it at some point, but like I saw enough in that first prologue portion to be like, holy shit, I get it. You know what I mean? And I kind of went into it a little late too. So yeah, I really like it when the smaller studios do good stuff. Yeah. And I want to see them do well.
That's been an insane year for small studios. We had a ton of just small studio games blow up. Dispatch feels particularly satisfying just because of how troubled the development was, and how they had to overcome so much, and now they have a certified huge hit on their hands. And because of the potential of it, they in the way they built it, they have so much room to grow beyond this. Obviously, a lot of people asking for a season 2, and they actually were forced to address it because they said it was a question mark before, legitimately. Because funny enough, they didn't think this game would be nearly as big as it was, because they said that the initial play testing, the people they had like play it early initially, they didn't vibe with it nearly as much as people are now, and so a lot of reactions surprised them. And he said maybe they thought maybe it was just not a big enough sample size, but they think mostly what really contributed was the episodic nature of it, because they released it like a TV show where new episodes drop the same time every week. It kind of had that Game of Thrones effect, which is why I wish more companies would release their shows even if it's on streaming, release your shows weekly at the same time instead of just dumping everything on your platform at 3:00 in the morning. It's been proven that episodic releases are just better, because now the new episodes drop, everyone goes and checks them out at the same time. Then you have a week of discussions and reactions and theories, and then everyone's gathered around waiting for the next drop, and that was how the game was able to build all this positive momentum and through word of mouth and anticipation, and have people hooked, waiting to see what's going to happen on the next episode. And even better because it's interactive and you have all these different choices to shape the story. So I think they have a huge potential franchise on their hands.
Yeah, Game of Thrones was such a phenomenon too. Like, I don't think I've ever experienced anything like it in my fandom.
Yeah.
Like, every Sunday night you stopped your life and you watched that show. Yeah. We all have our shows that we love and everything, but like that show specifically was like required. Friendships died over spoilers. It was, you couldn't talk about, you go to work. When I was working at Bose, we'd go to work and the next day you had to make sure you weren't talking about it around certain people. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's really interesting that people haven't studied that more and tried to following it.
Oh god, no, I think that's definitely the way going forward, and I think that's the difference between. That's when my stream started popping off, because for the first couple of weeks I was streaming it late afternoon, and then I decided I'm just going to stream it the hour, partially because I couldn't wait. But I was like, I don't care what else is going on with Rivals or anything. I'm so hooked on this story. I'm going to stream this the exact time. I'm going to be camping out on the street. The exact time it goes live, I'm going to be up playing this. I'm going to be streaming this game, and it just blew up from there.
And that's such a good feeling too, to have something that you care about that much. So it's something you just hope for everybody to have, and I think that thinking back to that Shroud conversation we're having, or Shroud, I'm sorry, conversation we're having, isn't that one of the characters in Dispatch, by the way? Shroud?
He's the main villain of season 1.
Yeah, so I'm not talking about that guy, but I just wish people could just focus on the stuff that they love like that, everything is just seems like it's a competition of oh, well, I'm more right than you, and no, that game sucks actually, because the person with the sword has tits. Tits can't carry a sword, how dare you have tits in a sword, and it's I don't know, I can't deal with it. I've mentioned before, I feel obviously Xbox is my preference, but I feel like I am pretty overall neutral to the platforms because I have them all and I just enjoy them for what they are. My favorite game of the year is absolutely Yote. I'm not even gonna hide that, right? And Tsushima was when it came out, and Spider-Man 2 was when it came out, and and so on and so forth. But I have there's this podcast, people that do this podcast that I follow, and that I met at PAX East one year, and they are the water carrying fanboys of Xbox, and I just don't understand the amount of dunking they try to do on Yote. The numbers came out this week, there were some numbers that came out. 3 million copies. That's great.
3.3 million copies, and I was waiting because I knew it was going to happen. Every grifter was desperately trying to find a way to spin it as a negative.
Yeah, but it was the best-selling game of the month. If you're the best-selling game of the month, regardless of how many copies of the game you sell, that's a win.
Yeah,
you know.
and again, the budget was like around the same as Tsushima, which was like 60 or 80 million. So they've already turned a massive profit on the game. Like the grifters lost, like, but they just can't let it go because the main character didn't wasn't wearing a bikini with with you know triple D's.
And I understand that, like, there are aspects of Erika Aishi, I think is how she pronounces it, that people don't like, and um probably
But
valid.
but it didn't. But I'm not even going to give them that charity. They're just. These are all just these idiot bigots who just hate. Who they use the culture war as like a smokescreen to hide their actual just straight up bigotry. Like they've made it clear over the course of
Sure.
all this coverage that they just hate everyone who's not straight and white. Like that's just what it is. But
they're also the same people that were like, "Oh, you have to play Hogwarts Legacy." Like, of course you do. Why wouldn't you?
Only
You know?
only to own the libs. Like if Hogwarts, if the progressive wing of the culture war had just shut the fuck up and let Hogwarts Legacy be, they would have all been making anti Hogwarts Legacy content because that game was objectively by their standards extremely woke. Like it had a story, it had a diverse cast, it had a lesbian teacher, it had all this black representation, it
had
had
like our first transgender video game character,
had a trans character who had their own like actual storyline. It had a major plot point that was about fighting against animal rights abusers. This was objectively an extremely woke game, but because the far left were hating on it and attacking people because of its association with J.K. Rowling, that made the right wing culture warriors jump on it and be like, oh well, yeah, you gotta get 10 copies of Hogwarts Legacy. Like they have no integrity, they have no morals. It's just all in service of the grift. The second they saw that a woman, they didn't even know who the woman was yet. They went after her after the fact when they found out who the actor was. As soon as they saw it was not Jin Sakai or another man, immediately they decided they were going to hate Ghosts of Yotei and make negative content about it. That they immediately had the narrative set as soon as that was clear in that first trailer. Like it was always going to be that. So it was very satisfying to see Yotei just prove that none of them matter anymore. Like everyone's like kind of over it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I literally have a massive statue of Jin Sakai right there. Like, I wanted more Jin Sakai too. I think we all did. But like, I like the idea of there being a Ghost of series, and I hope there's a 3 and it has like another protagonist, and I hope it's fucking Yasuke. But we know that what you said is true because like they did the same thing with Shadows. And honestly, like Shadows and Yotei are probably my 2 favorite games that I played this year. And I think it has a lot to do with that's just the style of game that I love. I love that era of Japan and those that style. But like all 3 main characters like offered such a very unique story, you know?
And shit, they actually did the same thing with Expedition 33. Like,
did they?
Yeah, they were trying to grift off Expedition 33 because there was a shot from the prologue where they were going around the city, and some of them noticed that it was like a diverse crowd of different people, and they were like, oh, what this is supposed to be 18th century France. Why is it in all white and that bullshit? And everyone was understandably, literally everyone was like, "No, shut the fuck up!" no one cares what you're saying right now. But between the culture war bullshit, and we're still seeing console war stuff as well. I was watching. I was going through Twitter, and I saw Paul Tassi.
I saw your response.
Basically going to war. It is on his timeline because he pointed out the fact that the new Call of Duty is not doing that well, and it's a huge deal because every Call of Duty product is supposed to be like a huge hit, and this one is like struggling to crack 100K on Steam, and you had people.
Gordon.
You had before even Gordon, you had people saying, "Why is everyone using Steam? Steam doesn't mean anything." I'm like, bruh, the last Call of Duty had like 300K on Steam, and this one is struggling to hit 100. What are we talking about, bro? It's a significant story.
And yeah, I have said, and I think we've even agreed at times that like people do put a lot of stock in the Steam numbers. They do mean something when you compare it like apples to apples. But I do think console is their main audience for Call of Duty. But you're right. The other one did that number just a year ago. So why isn't it translating here? There could be a lot of reasons. I mean, I just feel like this was a really deep like month. You know what I mean? Like Arc Raiders is popping. Even Marvel Rivals. Like a lot of games have like 100 concurrent. You know what I mean? Right now at the same time.
Where One's Meat actually debuted at 180K.
Yeah, I got something about that, and I haven't even downloaded it yet. So
I've downloaded it twice now. I played the beta. I enjoyed it. I actually did a couple. Actually, NetEase, a shout out to NetEase, threw me a pile of money a couple times to cover the game, but unfortunately, I couldn't play it on launch day. Still haven't been able to play it because it doesn't work on my. It doesn't work. Every time I try to boot the game up, it just immediately crashes.
Yeah, Battlefield 6 has been breaking my heart, but I got a code for Call of Duty. And I was like trying to play it. I thought I would have access 6 a.m. the day before, like on the 13th. And it just kept saying coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm busy doing other stuff. Then obviously it officially dropped at the same time as Marvel Rivals. So obviously you know what I'm doing. But then like I'm like reading all this stuff. Like the campaign is like you can play by yourself, but if you do, you're by yourself. So it's basically like online co-op necessary. I only got one code and I already used it, and it's Xbox Game Pass too. So I probably should have just done that, but whatever. But it was an Xbox code anyway, so it wouldn't matter. Yeah. And then I saw like the big boss battle where you're fighting this gigantic zombie guy, which I think is one of the old, like one of your old buddies in the game. But I understand the argument that people are making. Like there's two arguments. It's like, what is this even? How is this Call of Duty? And then there's this other one that's like, well, the devs are trying something different. Why can't they try something different? The zombie game mode is always super popular in every Call of Duty game. And I like keeping those things separate. I really do feel the Black Ops storyline has been drifting this direction anyway. So I do feel like there is a valid argument of, well, they're just trying it different. This is paying off that storyline. But like, I don't know. We're like 20 something games into Call of Duty at this point. Like, how much different war simulation are we going to do? You know what I mean?
There's always a war.
Yeah, no, for sure. War never changes. I mean, they've done advanced warfare, they've done world at war, they've done, modern warfare. They've done it all, and they have always done a good job of like creating characters for their story and sticking with them. But then they die, and then they go back and they like do this and they do that, and it's like, all right, what are we doing here? How do you keep up? But I don't know, man. I think the last Call of Duty is the most I've played Call of Duty in a while, and I really enjoyed it for what it was. But I I'm not that excited to do it here. And like, then there's also the argument of, you know, I was one of the people that was mad that I couldn't play as Skeletor anymore, you know? But there's also other people like, oh, you should never have skins like that in a war game. And it's like, why? What does it matter? Like, who cares? I don't know. I just want to play as Skeletor in the core game because I don't really like the whatever there are.
I think it's valid, and I think it's kind of a situation where Call of Duty has multiple problems that it's trying to figure out how to address. Like on the one hand, you have them being the fact that they're run by soulless executives who are trying to milk the players for all they're worth and give them as little value as possible. On the other hand, you have them trying to figure out how to be creative enough with basically yearly releases. Then you have the identity crisis of, well, you have people who like the zombies mode, then you have the core Call of Duty audience, and then you have them trying to tap into the Fortnite audience and people who hate that. So there's like all this kind of competing stuff, all these competing issues with Call of Duty, and I think the cracks were showing before, but now we're actually finally seeing it translating into sales potential. For the first time.
I mean, at some point you have to imagine that like the wheels are going to fall off to stay relevant for that long, and you know, be at the absolute top every year. Like I also saw some numbers this week. The top, like it was somebody from Insomniac tweeted about how Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales were like 2 of the top 10, you know, games of all time on PlayStation. And it was funny because like 3 of the top 5 were all published by Microsoft. They were all Call of Duty. So like Call of Duty has been the king of gaming with you know, Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5 for a very long time. But at some point, like every game is gonna like wear out people. There are still people, and I see like some of my brother's friends who are not as attached to the gaming culture and everything, but every year they buy fucking Call of Duty, you know, and that might be the only game they buy all year.
That's
like
a bar.
That's a thing, you know what I mean?
That's a bar, Gabe.
Yeah, but and it's just at some point it's like, oh, we're doing this again, you know what I mean? It like I can even speak for myself. You know, I've been doing this, you know, for over 15 years now. It's really hard to stay relevant. Like it's like people grow, people change, people like move on with their life, you know? So like you have a window sometimes, and if you don't capture everything in that window, then you know, it could pass you by. And I think that's the thing with Call of Duty is that like at a certain point people tried Apex and they finally tried Battlefield after all these years, and they're seeing that there are other games that they can play. And you know, because the people that are hardcore Call of Duty, like that's a way of life for them. And you know,
I think this is largely self-inflicted because we're seeing the results of generating lack of goodwill, and why goodwill with your audience is so important. Not just innovating or, you know, adapting to the times, but just staying in touch with your audience and making sure that you're putting them first. Call of Duty unfortunately became a victim of its own success. You know, we've seen a lot of AAA game studios now fall into this trap. Ubisoft fell into the same trap. They started out relatively small. They became hugely successful off their games, and then when they were successful, they expanded. And because they thought that's what you naturally do. You expand. You hire more people. You bring in big money to help manage everything from outside. Hey, boy. And the result was that Call of Duty just became soulless, and a lot of people have been saying that for years. Call of Duty doesn't hit the same. It's soulless. They're charging you more for less. They're coming up with ways to nickel and dime the players and give them less and less value. And we saw it. And I'm to this day never played a single second of Call of Duty, but I've seen the exact same thing happen to NBA 2K, which I do play. Like I was a true believer of Dreamcast. When 2K came out for Dreamcast, I was a NBA Live was on top, and I immediately was like, "Oh, 2K is the future of basketball games. This game is going to be insane," and it was, and it went on a historic run, became the best sports game of all time, and then once the competition was gone and it had reached its peak, they were like, okay, now that we have no more competition, let's fuck our customers and see how much we can get away with. And that's when the microtransactions started rolling out. They started fucking around with the content, and the quality was dropping, and we've seen it progressively continue in that direction, and we've seen that happen in Call of Duty. But for years people kind of look the other way, because it's like, well, even though all these people say Call of Duty's ass and it's bad now, it's still hundreds of millions of players. It's still always the top seller. So yeah, I guess it's fine. But now we're finally at a situation where actually no, it's not fine now, because there is a lot of competition, legitimate competition now. Not even. And it didn't even take a Call of Duty killer, like not a game just trying to just be Call of Duty. No, just a variety of other games. You're all from all sorts of games. Your Arc Raiders, your Battlefield, your Dispatch, your Women's Meet, your Our Rivals. There are so many games now coming for people's attention, and new games popping up every day, especially on Steam, that come out of nowhere seemingly. And now there's not like a need for Call of Duty anymore. And because they've lost so much goodwill, they don't have that same demand. Like people are going to be lining up out the door regardless for GTA 6. Like this, that hasn't gone away. They still have their core audience. They still have more. They're still growing. But with Call of Duty, people are just like, oh, it's a new Call of Duty. And that's just what it is.
It's becoming more and more that way too. I think people are like, they've last year's Call of Duty campaign was a huge mistake. They they made it like just open sandbox, and people hated it. I haven't tried this campaign, but it sounds like people aren't that thrilled on it either. Like I've seen people that I follow complain that like, if you don't have co-op teammates, you have no teammates. And like that can be important, like having somebody else shooting with you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do feel like my biggest thing is they combined everything into one Call of Duty app. Okay. So when you open up Call of Duty, it's got, all the games are built into it, and you can access them from that app. So everything that's been out since the app launched, so you can go in and there's Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 and yada yada that came before it, and then Warzone. And you can but to me, the big issue that I have is that like, when you do that, to me, everything that when you're selling stuff in the game, everything that you buy should carry over,
Right.
Like I have Spawn in Black Ops 6. I don't know, whichever one. Spawn was in the Battle Pass, right? And I can use him in Warzone, but I can't use him in Black Ops 7. And I can't use him in what other game? And then I bought Skeletor in one of the Call of Duties, and I could in Warzone, and I could use it in the Call of Duty that was out at the time, but I can only use them in Warzone now. And it's like the whole reason I started playing Call of Duty again was because they put Skeletor in the game. And like, that's a thing. In Modern Warfare 3, gotcha. So like, my thing is that like, you've got to have, if you're going to do that, you have to find a way to blend it all in, because that's the thing that we all hate. And it's a thing that like, 2K deals with, is, you build up all these characters, and then it's the new game is out, and that doesn't cross over, but that's the thing that everybody loves about Fortnite, is because other than the Lego mode, where not every character has a Lego version, you can use your skin in every game mode that they have. And I feel like if you're going to do microtransactions, and you're going to have this big platform, which Call of Duty tried to be, you can't, it's just confusing to like, oh, I own this, but I can't use it in the same app. Like, I don't know. They got to figure that part out. And
it's intentional. Like they're trying to nickel and dime everybody. And I think the thing people hate most about microtransactions, not the people who hate spending money, just in general. I think the biggest problem is that microtransactions, for the most part, are always done by these companies in bad faith, with the intention of just milking the players. Like Helldivers 2 has microtransactions, but no one complains about it, because you're getting fair value, and it's clear the devs didn't put them there just to fuck with the players. They did it because they were like, okay, well, we need to support the game with some microtransactions, but we're going to be fair about how we're going to do it. And if more companies did that, if they were going to do microtransactions, most people wouldn't have an issue with it, if they're, especially on a live service game that they're getting continuing updates on and value out of. And I feel like Activision has just for years now, across all their products, just prioritized in shareholder value over everything else. And I think that's been a really big problem with the game, with the AAA gaming in general. And we'll see how it works out, because one of the solutions that have been pitched is going private, and we're going to see how that works out with EA, who just went private with the Saudi wealth fund. But Ubisoft is apparently going to be following potentially them. We just started getting reports that they were about to get potentially bought out by Tencent, which wouldn't be a surprise. They already did that weird restructuring thing with Tencent already, where they split off their IP, their more valuable IPs, into like a separate entity that Tencent invested in. But now we're hearing reports that Tencent's just going to outright buy them out and take them private. We also heard that there's also a report that the Saudi wealth fund, the same one that bought out EA, submitted a bid to buy Warner Brothers, because they're on the market. They're entertaining offers right now. Like they rejected an offer from Skydance and
Paramount, I believe.
Skydance and Paramount merged.
Oh, okay.
That's
right.
Yeah. But they rejected that bid. Sony was rumored to be in the running, but they denied it, and Sony definitely doesn't have the money to make that bid anyway. But now we're hearing the Saudi wealth fund just submitted a bid to buy Warner Bros. So imagine how much of a shit show that's going to be if they accept that, that offer. This is not surprised. This is going to be kind of where we see a lot of, I think, AAA studios going private as a way to not just survive, but kind of adjust, because they've been looking for ways to scale back. You got the rise in production costs. A lot of them realize they've grown, they've expanded too much, and they're going to be looking for ways to cut costs. And hopefully it doesn't too negatively affect the quality of the games. Well, it remains to be seen how, so far, obviously people would morally have issues with the Saudi wealth fund, but from what I've seen so far, they haven't really reached in to say, hey, you're going to make games like this now. But I don't know. It's always kind of sketchy when you're dealing with the source stuff. But I mean, this is kind of where it's at. It's interesting. Warner Brothers is making this route, taking this route though, because even though they've been in debt, they've actually been having a pretty good year in particular. This in 2025, like they had a pretty crazy run of box office stuff. Obviously, their gaming division isn't is in a bit of a down year because they did like a whole a whole big restructuring thing to double down on Hogwarts Legacy, Game of Thrones, DC. So that actually does look promising, even though it's going to be a couple years before it all comes to fruition. But if they go private now, ooh, I don't know.
I had a tweet recently that like got a little bit of attention because there were rumors about the next, like, TT's already working on the next Lego game, and I just quote tweeted, I can confirm it is not Lego Game of Thrones. And I actually can confirm that it is not Lego Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Jay is actually on the board of directors.
I did have an actual conversation in Germany about how I thought Game of Thrones would really work as Lego in certain ways, but then of course it probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
But and then I was told, oh yeah, we're definitely not doing Game of Thrones. That would never work. I don't think Lego would even approve it. So I'm like, well, all right, I could scratch that off my my dream list.
My money's on Lego Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, from what I understand, that was an option before they went with Batman. They were at one point working on a Lego Disney game, but that got canceled. They were going to do it with the 100th anniversary. It's supposed to be called Lego Mickey and Friends.
I think, yeah, looking at Warner Bros. Strategy, I'm going to assume it's Harry Potter or DC related.
Right, and that's why I brought up Game of Thrones. Like, oh, that's something you already have access to, and it would be something that's different that you haven't done yet. And I do think some of the the luster of Game of Thrones has worn off a little bit.
A lot.
because House of Dragons, like, there are still people that are always going to be super passionate about it, but
for sure,
we still haven't gotten that book yet. Like, not that I read the books, but like, the people that do, like, they're still waiting for that goddamn next book. House of Dragons, I don't think it really did as well. Not even a fraction of what Game of Thrones did.
Of course.
So, like, they're already talking about possibly doing spin-offs with like Jon Snow and like those kind of getting back to that era and stuff. So, like, I thought that would be really cool because there's a lot of characters you can do. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but all of it involves like murdering and fucking. So
yeah,
probably not going to work out. Two of the main characters are a brother and sister that have lots of kids together. So yeah.
Game of Thrones and Lego, not a great mix.
But Harry Potter, I think, would be a good choice because the Lego Harry Potter games they have now were made before. They're not modern. I think Lego Marvel Superheroes and Lego Batman 2 are where they really started defining the way that you could like change characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all the Lego Harry Potter games, like, you can only change character if you go to a specific point and change the character. It's very annoying. And one of the reasons I never really finished it, besides not caring about Harry Potter that much, but if you had a more modern Harry Potter game that did everything like the right way with good graphics, with the new engine, with all of that stuff, I think that would sell massively. And that's exactly what they need. And it's a property that they already have control over. I don't think they'll double down on DC.
No, I think if I'm putting money on it, I think they're going to do a Lego Harry Potter where you just go through all seven movies again. Especially since they have the show coming up. They're going to want to have a lot of Lego. They want to have a lot of Harry Potter. They have Hogwarts Legacy 2 in development. Like they're really doubling down on Harry Potter because of how big it was for them.
My only concern is, like, a lot of people are concerned with Legacy of the Dark Knight. You're only going to be able to play as 7 characters. And one of the things that I think that's been so beloved that TT Games has done is having these massive rosters of characters. And it's going to be very interesting to see how basically Lego Arkham goes.
I think it's going to go very well.
I do too, but like the traditional Lego fan is still like, I want to play as Killer Moth. You know what I mean?
I think they're gonna whine and then buy the game, and
right.
And then people who don't normally buy Lego fans, more importantly, are going to also buy the game.
We're gonna chase costumes instead of characters, but I will say I do actually hope they find a way to go back to that traditional Lego game where you are getting all those characters. And if we're gonna do a Lego Harry Potter, I do hope that they have the big roster and that you can easily go back and forth, because they never did that before. The other games that you had characters you unlocked, but it was like kind of a burden to actually use the other characters. So I don't know, like that would be my only wish for a Lego Harry Potter game. But I think we're gonna start. I think where they double down on DC is we get Injustice 3, and I think we're gonna have that content.
And we're going to get more. We're getting we're going to have a total of 3 new Batman games. We got Legacy of the Dark Knight, Arkham Shadow 2 is in development right now, and we're getting the new Rocksteady Batman game.
So yeah, the VR game. Okay, yeah, and that there's some other DC game being worked on other than Injustice 3.
Yeah. Well, WB Games Montreal, they have a live servicey, according to the job listing, DC game in development, and James Gunn confirmed he has a DCU canon game that he's going to be announcing in a couple years.
Well, I think one of the things that I'm not intrigued by is like Brainiac apparently is going to be in Man of Tomorrow.
That seems. I mean, based on all the tease, the not so subtle hints James Gunn has been dropping, it's clearly Brainiac. That's going to be the main villain of Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm Brainiac'd out. He was like the main character in Suicide Squad. He was the main character in Lego Batman 3. He was the main character of like both Injustice games, I think. He was in I think he was in like Supergirl. I think he was in
he was actually
Smallville.
He was actually in the recent animated Superman show, My Adventures with Superman.
So it's like I'm so tired of Brainiac. I understand the appeal because he hasn't been done in the silver screen live action, I mean, other than like, freaking Smallville and shit, but
live action movie.
Yeah, but like, why? I did see a clip though of apparently allegedly set video of Supergirl fighting Lobo. It was from a distance. I don't think it was AI, because you obviously have to like make sure these days. Because I obviously like scrolling through Twitter right now, I'm looking at a fake Ring doorbell camera of a bunch of cats playing the fiddle on somebody's porch.
I actually saw that people were using AI to get refunds from restaurants by taking pictures of their food and using AI to the one example, someone had took a picture of a burger and fries they ordered, and they used AI to make the burger look raw and undercooked so they could get a refund. It's getting crazy.
I hope Deadpool is the main character of Injustice 3.
If only. I personally don't mind as long as the overall story is good. I think because I enjoyed Superman. I just hope that Gunn takes the valid criticism he got from that and uses that to improve on it. Like I thought the humor was fine. I just thought that they could have done a better job of showcasing Superman's strength on screen. I felt he didn't have enough moments that established himself as Superman. before getting into him struggling. I think that would have definitely gone a long way, because it overall was like a more bright and optimistic movie. But I felt like the Fantastic Four did that part better. Specifically, we talked about the opening segment where both movies essentially did the same thing, except Fantastic Four told that through actual visuals, like, oh, this team, this is how they came about, these are the villains they encountered, and how they became loved and known as Fantastic Four. And James Gunn instead just put a text scroll on the screen and said, "Oh, this is Superman. This is the world. This is what happened. This is how long he's been doing it. He's really great. And here, let's start the movie with him getting the shit kicked out of him." Just like, oh, okay, right in there.
Yeah, I get that. I really enjoyed the Superman movie, but yeah, I just we talk about what's his face that did the Thor movies,
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, we talk about how he can like sometimes go full Taika Waititi. I just hope that James Gunn doesn't always go full James Gunn.
Yeah,
he's great, but like sometimes just you gotta rein it back a little bit.
Yeah, dial back. Yeah, like there was a couple of times like where I felt like he mostly did a good job of restraint. But I thought he probably was at his best in Guardians 3. And even that had his moments, but I thought he really did it, just cooked in that one. And I thought he did a really good job of Superman, but there were definitely some scenes where it was like, okay, Gunn, like at the end when Superman's confronting, where they've won, they confronted Lex, and Superman's giving his speech to Lex, and they're just having like this clash of ideology. I'm like, oh, this seems like this is going to be like a fun conversation, and then clash of ideals, and then James Gunn's like, oh no, let's have a gag here. Let's have a crypto ragdoll Lex Luthor across the room and just break up this serious discussion. Like, it's okay.
yeah. And I mean, you could appreciate some of it, but at the same time, it's like sometimes, like, it doesn't always have to be full goofball.
Yeah, you don't need to always go for the bit. Like
I look at Guy Gardner a little bit. I think he went a little too overboard with Guy Gardner, especially in Peacemaker. Like, I know he's not in it very long, but like everything is a joke with Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
And that's not really who Guy Gardner is. Guy Gardner's a dickhead. Like that's more like, and I think they do.
It did come across to me like he was a dickhead.
Right. That does come across, but it comes across in like a ha way, and not like that he's just a fucking douchebag,
Yeah, there's a couple of times where it kind of undermined him, and like I felt like they definitely could have like dialed it back a little. Let's have like a moment of have a moment of seriousness here, and not try to go for a punchline. Like Mr. Terrific, I thought he was great. He had tremendous aura. But I complained about this when we did our review. Like, I felt like he had a couple moments that just made me cringe, where it just felt like he was trying to. It reminded me of Zack Snyder Cyborg.
Right.
Booyah! Like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, we get it. He's black. He's a superhero. Can we not? Can we not do this goofy shit while messing up this man's aura?
We did talk about this a little bit. I have not played it yet. I did get a code from them, so thank you, Xbox. But yeah, we will. I can assure you, we will never get Sadat into Call of Duty. I'm not even going to try.
Correct.
that is one I will never even attempt. You just concede. You concede. So
literally the only way I'm getting on Call of Duty is if they hand me a very, very large amount of money. to play the game
and put all of his waifus in it.
Yeah, I don't need the waifus, just the money. If I have all the waifus I need in Dispatch. I don't need any in Call of Duty. Yeah. Just give me just as long as the check clears. I don't care. Just I'll play mid of duty and get it out of the way. Otherwise, not touching it. It's never touching my system.
Yeah, I got to. I got to figure out some things with what I want to do leading into this week, because I feel like I'm disappointed, like, because this was such a big month of games that I enjoyed, some that I did not enjoy as much as I wanted to, and like I feel like a lot of them kind of tanked. I am glad that some of my Ghost of Yote stuff did well. Some of my Pokemon stuff actually did decent, which I don't usually have a lot of luck with that. But like, I went from Borderlands 4 to Pokemon Legends ZA to Ghost of Yote, and then the Outer Worlds 2, which I have a real love-hate relationship with that game. They really screwed the pooch on that one. The thing I hate about it is the skill checks, the decision they made. Well, have a good night. Okay. The decision they made was you only have 60 skill points available to you by hitting level 30, and like some of the skill checks you have to pass are like level 20, and like they want you to basically not play the game like an RPG where you try to be balanced. Maybe you have like one skill that you focus on a little bit. I've played a lot of Fallout and Skyrim and all these games where like you can hit level 100 and you could just increase the ones you want to at your rate you want to. But like very early in the Outer Worlds 2, I was running into skill checks where you had to be like lockpick level 8. And I'm like, what the I literally only have 8 skill points at this point in the game, so like I really hated that. They want you to play the game again and play it a different way. They don't want you to be able to do everything, and I feel like I missed a lot of things in the game because I was trying to chase doing a little bit of everything, and I couldn't. It's probably one of the biggest design decisions I've disagreed with the most in any game I've ever played. I hate it. It kind of ruined the game a little bit for me. And towards the end, I just reached a fuck it level and said, I'm just going to finish it and be done. And I hate that because it is a really well-made game and I really enjoyed it, other than never being, it's no new game plus. You just get to a certain point and it's like, this is your point of no return, and once you beat it, the game's just over. I don't think there's going to be a new game plus. They're going to make you just play it over, and I don't want to do that.
That's disappointing.
But it's beautiful. It's fun. It's great. Like, but like,
I'm probably not going to get to it. Xbox I did get a key offer, but I just didn't have the time because I'm like, well, I'm at the time I was playing this. I was busy with Dispatch, busy with Rivals, and I still got to finish Yote. So I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna and then you were not enjoying Outer Worlds as much as I was like, well, if even Jay is like having issues, I'm like, I'm out.
And that was one of my most anticipated games of the year. That's probably like I'm still gonna give it like a 7 out of 10, which is I think a solid score.
Yeah,
but it easily could have been an 8.5 if I was, able to just play the game I wanted to. And like, I think having a level cap of 30, there might have been a level cap in the last game. It's been a while, but like I reached a certain point where I was not getting XP for anything anymore. And I still had a solid chunk of game to go. And if I could have just kept leveling up a little bit, and like, because that's what I was doing in the first planet. I didn't leave the first planet for like so many hours because I literally killed every single thing you can kill on that island just to try to scrounge up XP so that I didn't like ruin my game again. This is one of the few games I've ever restarted because I didn't realize that I needed a certain level in order to not crash the ship into the main town and make everybody hate me, you know? So it does not vary with difficulty level, no. So I just feel like I just feel like they did themselves a disservice that way. It's obviously a decision they have to live with, and I understand that there are a lot of people that are fans of the game that love it. I don't. I like
from what I've seen. Also, the sales were a little disappointing as well.
It feels like sales for every game is disappointing. You know, it feels like everything is struggling. Nothing is hitting projections anymore. It's so rare that you're like, okay, so Dispatch, obviously you're going to look at the numbers and be like, "Oh, that's great." But if, Call of Duty had those numbers, you'd be like, "Oh, that sucks." You know what I mean? So some of the smaller games that you're not expecting to put up solid numbers are doing it, and that's awesome. And I'm not going to ever want anything less than that. I want them to be successful.
No,
but
it actually feels like a lot of games. It was that the thing about this year is that we had a lot of games like really pop off because there was some pessimism about the state of gaming, but we had like so many games overall do well, but then we had some that we thought would do better that didn't. Like Monster Hunter Wilds, massively successful as everyone was expecting, but it ended up not having as much longevity because of the optimization and the post-launch stuff wasn't there. So after that initial massive amount of sales, that dropped off. But Assassin's Creed Shadows, despite all the grifting, ended up doing really well.
Depending on who you talk to, some people will insist it did not.
Yeah. Well, according to Ubisoft, this I think it was like their second most profitable Assassin's Creed game of all time. So according to them, they're happy. But Yote, obviously, we found out did great. But the Doom Dark Ages didn't do that well. Ninja Gaiden,
that's a good game.
Yeah, that was solid. Ninja Gaiden didn't do as well, but then you had a ton of smaller games, obviously Dispatch, but before that, Expedition 33, massive hit. You had a ton of indie games that popped off. We had obviously just Where Winds Meet just had a big debut. Arc Raiders, massive debut. Battlefield 6, massive debut. So it's been mixed. I think overall it's actually been a really strong year for game. It was just a few games that didn't hit their marks. But overall, it was like a really strong year, performance wise for most games for what I've seen. Especially the indie scene. I think the indie scene are the biggest winners of 2025. Like there's just so many indie games did just incredible numbers, and I love to see it because it keeps the industry fresh, shows that there's still a big market obviously for well-made games, and hopefully bigger studios that had disappointments take the lessons, the right lessons, and say, hey, let's kind of go back to basics and just focus on making good games instead of chasing shareholder value. like maybe then that'll work for us.
I don't know. There's a lot of it's just I do feel like I there should be some artists. You have to respect the artist vision, but sometimes the artist vision sucks. But also sometimes people make too big of a deal out of things. That's the thing that I think is annoying me the most, is that some of these games just get tanked over nothing, and I keep going back to what that Shroud clip that I saw, like people just want these games to be 100% of what their mind envisions it should be, and if it's not, then obviously it's shit, and I think there's just not enough nuance, and not enough people willing. We want these games to take chances and everything, but people aren't willing to do that, and I don't know what it is. I don't know how you get around it.
I think for the most part they were. I think the problem is that there are tourists that are kind of polluting the conversation. I think for the most part, players are willing to to give something new a chance. That's why all these new and interesting games are doing so well. I think the issue is that you have this vocal minority of tourists and just bitter former gamers who just latch on to whatever grifter told them is the next game that they hate on, and they just look for an opportunity to just shit on online. Like they don't like these people. These are clearly people who don't actually engage in any really games. They don't buy games. They just go from online discourse to online discourse saying, oh, this game is going to be shit or whatever for whatever reason. And I just don't think they're reflective of most gamers. I think the people who actually buy games and support games do want stuff that's well, there are obviously going to be people who wants stuff that they're familiar with, but I think most people are willing to embrace something that's different and unique, as long as it's actually good and seems to have been made with passion and care, instead of let's see how much we can get away with to appease our shareholders. And I think the games that like we obviously had high hopes for Suicide Squad, but that game shot itself in the foot. It was honestly the Batman fans were completely irrelevant to that game's failures. I mean, the game, despite both bad reviews and Batman fans not being enthusiastic and all the controversy over the Battle Pass leaking, the game was like the number 3 best-selling game in January, when it was still in early access. It was the 3rd most downloaded game on PlayStation for the month of February. The reason why it ultimately dropped off is because it was a absolutely dog shit live service game. The end game was non-existent. They, for whatever reason, did not invest any money in skins, particularly skins that people actually wanted,
right.
and all the DLC content was ass. So that's what ultimately hurt Suicide Squad. And it, on top of other smaller stuff like the gear system not being, the weapons not being as interesting and imaginative as it could have been. So I think ultimately that's kind of what happened. And same with Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights, obviously, you had people who was like, "Oh, it's what Batman's not going to be played," but the game also sold well, but it shot itself in the foot by saying, "Okay, 5 months before launch, we're going to announce that it's not going to be on PS4." After announcing it was going to be on PS4 at a time where I think at that point in time, there was like more PS4, more active PS4 users than PS5 users, because people at the time still couldn't get their hands on a console. So they cut off the entire they cut off a potential 60 or 70 million players by removing last gen support at the last minute, on top of the optimization problems they had at launch. So I think if you have a game that's conceptually a good idea, is well made with the right intentions, and launches in a good state, I think it will catch on, and people will at the very least give it a chance. But if you try to pull some bullshit, gamers are a lot more savvy these days, and because of the economy, a lot more conscious of what they spend their money on, especially since they have so many options. So you can't get away with what you could have done maybe like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's boring when we agree, but there's really nothing I could take away from that. Like sometimes you're just right. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Sometimes. No, yeah, I'll take that happily take that from Jay, someone who hates admitting when I'm right.
No, I give credit when credit's due. I just think that you
just die low inside.
No, I just feel like you just always have to neg me on everything. I think of just the opposite. You die a little inside when you have to admit that I'm right.
I'm pleasantly surprised when I have that opportunity and embrace it when possible, when possible, because it's such a novelty. It's like, oh wow, Jay's cooking here. Hold on. let me give him my attaboy.
Happens more than you want to admit.
Well, we'll see about that. Should have been, yeah. I think the live service aspect both hurt and could have helped Suicide Squad. Like because we found out from the Jason Schreier article, the executives trying to force them to do live service bullshit mess with the development process. But at the same time, if they had doubled down on the right aspect of the live service stuff, meaning just new story content, new playable characters, instead of trying to force in this half-baked looter system, I think that would have been gone over very well.
Yeah. I that's always gonna be one that like just kind of hurts a little bit, because I really thought that could have been good. I understand what they were trying to do with the the Brainiac encounters, but they didn't hit that well. I think it's a better game than people give it credit for.
For sure.
There's a lot of people that just shit on it because they're allowed to do so, but I don't know.
I've been pleasantly. It's always fun seeing how, especially when these games go to free services, it kind of exposes how many people made up their mind without actually playing the game. Mm-hmm. But you see them. You see when they go on like a platform like a PS Plus or a Game Pass years later, it's like you'll see them say, "Oh man, this game is so good. Why did it get so much hate?" It's like we see like I think the funniest recent example was someone was talking about Rise of Hydra after being like the next chance to play Black Panther, because the Black Panther game got canceled. But they used because there was no gameplay out of Rise of Hydra. They used gameplay from Marvel's Avengers of Captain America and Black Panther. Mm-hmm. and yeah, all these people in the comments were like, "Whoa, what game is that? That looks fire. is that Rise of Hydra?"
Yeah, that was always really funny to me.
I'm like, bro, like, no, yes, that's the game that you said was shit and the worst game ever, superhero game ever. Yeah, that's the one. Mm-hmm. But I do hope, I do have high hopes for the Rise of Hydra gameplay. Hopefully, it does show up at the Game Awards, which is right around the corner now. We got the nominees tomorrow, and now that GTA 6 is well out of the way, hopefully they'll be ready to start showing us some stuff.
Yeah,
Wolf Among Us as well. Wolf Among Us 2, I really hope makes it out in 2026, because now I've got an itch for more Telltale games after finishing Dispatch. While we wait for that season 2, which seems to be inevitable. They mentioned that at first it was a question mark, obviously because of all the issues, but now with all the massive success, like, it's inevitable. They literally have to do a season 2 and more additional content. And I'm here for it. Critical Role also mentioned that they wanted to do a movie rather than a show based on Dispatch, which nice. I will gladly watch. Critical Role actually has a new show coming out in a couple of days as well that I'll also be watching. Comes on Amazon Prime. It's called Mighty Nine. I'm all about Critical Role and Dispatch ad hoc right now. I'm looking forward to more, and I'm excited to see what we get at the Game Awards. In the meantime, I think we can wrap it up here. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Once again, rest in power to our boy Slipshock. We miss you, buddy. And if you want, I'll be live tomorrow morning. I'll be doing like a watch party for the nominees, and and I will be crashing out if Dispatch is not nominated for Game of the Year. Just be warned that is going to happen. And Bar Rivals new skins dropping.
Yeah, I know I need to do some Fortnite soon. The Simpsons season is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big Simpsons. My dad actually would not let me watch The Simpsons when it came out. And so I never got into it because of that. My dad was a Marine, so he was a little strict. And but my wife apparently like religiously watches. I didn't even know that. It's one of those shows she watches like without me. And like one day I came watching, she's watching The Simpsons. I'm like, you watch The Simpsons? She's like, yeah, every week. I'm like, oh, okay.
I stopped watching, but I was obsessed with it when I was a kid.
Yeah. But I do have. I mentioned one kind of beat 'em up game that I think I'll be able to post sooner than later. I do have another beat 'em up game that I am playing and loving right now and recording some videos. What it is?
We'll have to see. Hopefully, I'm waiting to hopefully get an email from a beat 'em up that Jay may or may not have access to. That is releasing in December. That I would love to play as well. We'll see. I'll keep making inquiries, see if I could get myself a early copy.
Yeah, then we can link up.
Indeed, but I'll be on probably around 11 tomorrow morning to do some coverage of the nominees. I'm excited for the Game Awards this year. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I think there's a lot of potential, especially now that GTA 6 is out of the way. I think there's going to be a lot of studios now that are going to be bolder with their marketing, because I feel like there was like kind of a holding pattern where people were just like, yeah, GTA said they're in May, which is definitely kind of early, and they were like, we'll see. And now that this like end of the year, people are kind of breathe a sigh of relief and are going to be more forward with their marketing. So I think this could be a huge game awards with a lot of cool shit. So I'll be streaming that, of course, as well. And you know where to find both of us. We'll see you guys hopefully next week,
Thursday, 8 p.m. We need to finish getting Eastwood to gold. We were 6 hours in at 1:30 in the morning last night.
I didn't get there.
We were 2 matches away. I got to gold, but like we kept like at the end we were shuffling. We were like we had some real shit teammates in the last couple of matches. So I think he needs to win at where he's at now, like 2 more matches. I said I was willing to do it on Thursday at 8 p.m. at my normal It's Just Quick play time.
Thursday 8 p.m. Well, I'll be there.
So we'll be doing that. Rivals this season is fun, and Liam can confirm we had some terrible teammates. So
I'll bring my gambit.
Excellent.
I appreciate everyone as usual. Love.
All right. Well, I guess then we're not doing it Thursday. Just let us know when it's good. We'll figure it out.
We'll do it on some whenever you're free. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. I'm Sadat the Gamer.
I am not Casual Avenger,
but we appreciate him nonetheless, and enjoy the deep dish, my friend. Zip it up, zip it out. Peace, my naysayers.